He's about to go down, honestly. He's about to go down. Because when I see these palm colored people actually asking questions like this, I tend to ask myself on the same question. I was like, don't you know? Don't you know what you people usually do? You know it. And you're still coming out to ask question. You're still coming out to ask. Like, what did you need us for? What did you need us for? Anyways, white folks are asking question. Why we are not visible to them? Why we don't want to be in their environment? Why we are distancing ourselves from them? Why we, when I mean we, I mean the people of my color, don't want to have anything relating to them? And I'm happy because they got answers. And that is why I want to actually play this video for you so that you, as you're watching too, can help them drop your answer in the comment section. As someone of my color, as someone that is palm colored, just drop your honest opinion. And then they will go into research and find out more. Anyways, if you've not subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we use in today's episode. And this is just for educational purposes. I stand the chance to be corrected. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Anyways, let's dive right.
I have a genuine question for Black women, specifically. So if you're not a Black woman or a woman of color, please don't comment on this video. Maybe look at the comments if this video gets any traction, but I really only want to be hearing from Black women and women of color, because I've seen a lot about the blue bracelets on this app, and I think we're all in agreement that it's very performative and it isn't actually something that is for Black women. It signifies to us, women who look like me, that we voted blue. But what I really want to know is, Black women, what makes you feel safe when we're in shared spaces? What can I do, and those in my circles do, to make you feel seen and heard and safe when we are in shared spaces?
Why Black people are not comfortable in predominantly white spaces. Yes, I'm wearing my bonnet, okay? I'm tired. Je suis fatigué. Anyway, so for me, when I'm in a predominantly white space, work environment, white party, whatever, I know that as soon as something racist or a microaggression happens, no one's got my back. It's me against Karen, or unless someone verbally expresses that, you know, they're an ally, they got me, I got no one. So if something breaks out, I know that calling the person racist is probably not the best decision to make. Because one, it's gonna be an uncomfortable environment and atmosphere. If I have friends there, they may or may not be understanding, may or may not say that it's exaggerating, gaslighting. You can just see by my expression, it's just already making me tired. I'm already tired enough. But if there's one other Black person, at least if I see another Black person looking at me because they are in distress, I will help you. I know some Black people are like, no, you're on your own. I mean, fair enough, you know. But when there's other Black people, you just know you're okay. You're okay. And if it's a party, you know you're gonna have a good time. You know, like earlier today in the office, there was a bunch of Black people in the kitchen, and I was very tempted to say, is this like a reunion with like Black people? Can I join in? But I really felt like they were gonna look at me weirdly, you know, so I stopped myself. I kind of regret it now. But yes, if you're an ally, just say it, man. Just say it. If you hear Karen say, oh, is that your real hair? Look at Karen and be like, I don't think that Zaya actually likes that kind of comment, because it's very obvious that it is her hair. And even if it isn't, is it any of your goddamn business? So yes, allies, unite. Make your identity known. You're not Batman, you're not Superman. So just make yourself known.
I saw a video saying that white people and Black people are not friends because most of the time white people are not willing to go to Black spaces and share their cultures with them. White people are normally only okay with having a black friend as long as that black friend is fully dissolved in whiteness and only goes to the white spaces and white events with them. And as a person of color who's living in the United States and has been in lots of white spaces, I went to school. I was in a very white centric state, and I went to school and I married one, and I have worked with a lot of and I have really lived amongst them. And as a person of color, I want to tell you that for a long time, I felt like I was really accepted amongst the white people, but then I realized I'm only accepted when I act like one. Like my white family, my white coworkers, classmates, friends never ask me about my origin, never want to know more about my culture, never celebrate my events with me. They just want me as long as I don't show 1 ounce of non-Americanness. And I'm only accepted and included when I'm acting like one, not my wholeness as a woman, as a person who's not from this culture is not accepted. And I find the white liberals the most insufferable group because they think they're doing so well. They think they're doing so well. They can't, like, I find them the most ignorant one because they are so assured of themselves that they've done well. They don't even question how they might appear to other people. They don't question that.
And what makes you feel safe when we're in shared space?
Hi there. I'm going to answer your question with 3 different personal stories. Story 1. I was 8 years old in a Walmart in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I happened to be shopping with my grandmother, and she allowed me and my aunt to go over to the kids' aisle to look at Barbie dolls. This young white boy walked past me, didn't say a thing to me, I didn't say a thing to him, but he quickly went to his mother. Shortly afterwards, his mother and him approached my grandmother to tell them that I had cursed her son out. Because this was a white woman with her white child, instead of defending me, my grandmother scolded me without hearing the truth. She then pulled me to leave out of Walmart. Once I told my grandmother I never said anything to that boy, and my aunt even defended me, my grandmother said, yeah, but we can't say anything to them. So early on, I was taught that even if I'm right and they're wrong, we don't tell them that. Fast forward to my senior year in high school, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. Actually, my mother left, and then I went and joined her before the Christmas break. My world history class had chains going around the border of the room. And in between the chains, where the corners would be in the room, were black people's hands bound together. I had a white male world history teacher. At this same school, students were caught spraying the N-word on some black children's lockers, and they weren't reprimanded for it. It's just horseplay, kids being kids. In this school, they had what was called the senior pit. I had 2 younger brothers who attended the school with me, and they were terrified to step into the senior pit because apparently they could get jumped on or tossed out. In my family, I was known for fighting the boys because there were not a lot of girls on my dad's side of the family, so I was real tough. So me telling my brothers that you all can come sit in the senior pit with me because I am indeed a senior was a bad call. But my brothers knew that if anything happened, I got them. 3 white male athletes decided to approach my brothers and say something to them. When I told them, you might want to back the fuck off and leave them alone, they got real offensive and called me the N-word. And since my world history book was the biggest book in my backpack, I made sure the boy that called me that got hit in the throat real hard with it. My now deceased little brother was a licensed boxer, so they had hell on their hands. 2 fractured ribs, fractured collarbone, bruised eye socket later, they tried to suspend us. And they also said they were going to press charges because we could have killed those 3 boys. But because my brothers are my mother's favorites, it didn't go down like that. I was still a brand new student to the school, and all of my teachers advocated, saying that she's very quiet. She barely talks in class. My deceased brother, on the other hand, was hell on wheels. They all knew him. I stayed at that school for a month and a half. When Christmas break started, I took my ass back to Mississippi. Story number 3. I worked at 24 Hour Fitness out of Memphis, Tennessee, and that was my first fitness job coming out as an instructor. One of the white female instructors that had been there for a while felt like she was the only person that should be glorified or be able to tell other people whose classes to go to and whose not to. After a month and a half of working for 24 Hour Fitness, I then received the Group Fitness of the Month award, and she was mortified because she felt that I should not have received that because I was new and because I didn't look qualified. Once my instructor of the month picture went up in a picture frame at the front desk, she was overheard snickering to one of her other little friends, saying the only reason they gave it to her is because she's black. Once it was brought back to me that she had said this, I went to our group fitness director, not to tell on her, but to ask, can I implement something in my class that would run for a month? I guaranteed my group fitness director that it would increase the numbers in the group fitness classes that I taught and would also bring them new memberships. She told me absolutely. If it's going to benefit the club, she's all for it. I implemented a bingo into my class, which included you can get 2 marks if you bring brand new people, if they sign up, and then if they bring a friend, you get put in the raffle for a prize. I paid for a 6-month membership out of my own pocket to give away. One person was drawn, and majority of her students stopped going to her classes and started coming to mine, as well as the 55 memberships that I was able to secure for 24-hour fitness. So when I got instructor of the month, the next 2 months, and they asked me to say something, I said, well, I guess I didn't get it just because I was black. So with that being said, if you were in my shoes and you've dealt with a lifelong of discrimination done by Caucasian Americans, how would you answer that question?
It might be weird, but I've been making an effort to try to see the world through the eyes of Black Americans. And I wanted to share a couple of things that I've learned so far. I'm John. I make content that tries to model empathy and curiosity for our social differences. Number 1 on the list, Black people don't hate me. I guess I didn't know necessarily how they would react, knowing all of our history. But yes, they see my white face. Yes, they know history. But one of my friends said one time, if you're cool with us, we're cool with you. And that made a lot of sense to me. Number 2, many Black people don't feel comfortable in white spaces. This is something I discovered by posting videos and all the comments. Many people said they may feel, or it may appear that they're comfortable, they may look relaxed, but there's just kind of a vibe that they don't belong there. Maybe it's unfortunately sometimes explicit, but vast majority is probably more like microaggressions that people don't even realize. But there's that. Number 3, Black history is American history. They corrected me on this early on, and it's because it's not that we don't want to have a designation for understanding the history and the experiences of Black Americans, but it's more like when we call it Black history, that implies that it doesn't belong to anyone else. Whereas if you really think about it, slavery, for example, that's more like white history than Black history. Number 4, I shouldn't focus on all the bad stuff so much. When I'm making videos, try to explore our worlds. I do have a tendency, maybe it's my own curiosity or maybe it's my biases, to focus on slavery and discrimination and segregation. And people have told me, hey, look, we do want people to understand those things better, but we also don't want to be defined by that. So I also need to focus on the amazing and greatness of Black people and their contributions in our country. Number 5, they know I have blind spots of my own and they're okay with that. It's more like, what's my attitude about it? Am I aware or trying to be aware? Do I have some humility about it? Am I open to learning? Or do I have a vibe like, I don't even care if I have blind spots. I don't care how they come across to you. That's a big difference. And number 6, Black people don't want revenge. They want to live life abundantly. Yes, they want to live in a fair society. They don't want harms and injustice and flawed systems to be papered over or denied. They want accountability, but more than anything, they just want to live and be themselves and have fun and feel like they belong here. Not just on paper, but they feel it. Anyway, I'm learning a lot and it's been a great journey and I'm going to continue and I'll share some more when I learn.
Cape Town, I've noticed that the white and colored people are not used to Black people speaking to them so directly. Now, thanks to my cousin, we got to take a trip to the Cape of Good Hope. It's a place that I've always wanted to see. I've always looked at it on the map and was just strangely always attracted and interested in going there. So to my surprise, we got to go there for one of the trips that we had while we were in Cape Town. Now, one of the pit stops we had, use the restroom, get a bite to eat, take in the views. It was a lot of people because, of course, it's a famous place that people go to. And, people are hungry. So, naturally, our group, it's like 25 of us. We're going to get something to eat. Now, of course, a lot of the workers were black, but you can tell the main manager, she was like a colored Indian woman. No issue, whatever, we're going up, we're taking our order. Now, I guess she's getting irritated that there's so many, I guess, of our group coming in, of black people. I don't know what the issue was, but she was annoyed and she tried to stop the line as soon as 3 people. So naturally, we were like, no, if you're going to do that, you need to wait to finish the entire line first. And then at that point in the line, to say, hey, we're not taking any more orders on this line. She found out real quick because when she tried to talk to my older aunt that way, of course, we're all stepping in like, no, you're not going to talk to our people like that. Then as I stepped up to get my order, I was getting my order taken from the black woman who was also on the cashier line. And I noticed there was this Indian woman who's like, putting her stuff down at the thing. Mind you, me and her are not in the same group. We're not together. And personally, in terms of personal space and like, I'm taking my order, I'm getting serviced right now. This is not the point for you to move and move in with your thing. So I respectfully told her, excuse me, ma'am, I'm getting my order taken. Can you please move back? And in her shock, I guess, she moved herself. She's like, oh, I'm sorry or whatever. But across the board, I've noticed in Cape Town, they are not used to black people speaking so directly to them. And I'm sure it did not help that there was an entire group of us that were there when it came to my group that was clearly letting them know. Even waiting for our order, people were trying to push past us when we were getting our food. And we're like, excuse me, you do not push past people that way. I mean, even the airport too, as we're flying into our next destination, like, pushing our belongings out of the seats to have a place to sit. No, there's 25 of us. People are sitting here. Obviously, the mere fact how people are putting their belongings in certain seats, that is not your chance to just move things out the way just because you feel that you belong to be sitting someplace. You do not speak to us any old kind of way. You do not service us any old kind of way. We're not accepting just anything. If you're giving good service, you need to provide good service to everyone. And we made that abundantly clear. And I can kind of see like the kind of smirk that the black woman who was behind the cashier, she was kind of like, oh, y'all thought y'all was going to play this like y'all do anybody else, but no, they ain't having it. The black Americans ain't never going to have that. And even how the colored Indian one was even talking to the employees there, like, it's a lot of people getting the orders, not just our group. There was other groups of white people and everyone else. And it's just kind of like, yes, this might be a high tension time if you're just trying to get out orders, but you do not speak to people that way, regardless of whether they're working under you, beside you, or whatever the case is. And our group just did not appreciate that. And that's really what we kind of noticed as we were navigating through Cape Town. So,
the 5 things I would never do being black in corporate America. I will never disclose all of my personal details. What'd you do this last weekend? The same thing I've been doing the last 8 weekends. Don't ask me. I chilled, I read, and I minded my business. What's up? Why you want to know? Okay. The second thing, I will never make a mistake and not own it. You own it and correct it immediately, because your one mistake is equivalent to 6 of their mistakes. Do you understand what I just told you? Don't you ever make a mistake and not correct it. It's stressful and exhausting. Trust me, I know, but that's just the reality, okay? Number 3, I will never play the victim. I will always stand 10 toes down on what I said. And maybe that's just because I'm in senior management. That's just how I move. But I said what I said. I said what I said. I saw what I saw. I heard what I heard. I did what I did. Okay. Number 4, I will never not keep a paper trail. Are you kidding me? Do you know these people are conspiring against you? Like, what? You don't have a paper trail? You didn't screenshot that? Oh, it kills me. You will always cover your motherfucking ass. What? Like, anyway, that just behooves me. Number 5, I will never speak more than I listen. I will never speak more than I listen. I will always catch it. I will always be observing. I will always have my ear to the ground. You will not hear me just yapping off at the mouth. I am always, I'm on mute. I'm like, what the fuck? Huh? What? What? I just be in a. What did they just say? They just say the creepiest, most uncomfortable shit. We know who they is.
Something that will never not amuse me as a black woman walking is watching how many people will either walk right into me or walk towards me, expecting me to defer to them and move completely out of their way, even though I am walking on the right side of the sidewalk, and then act completely shocked, bamboozled, aghast that I do not defer to them, that I do not move out of their way. Maybe
people are just so invasive. It's like,
she's literally not lying. Hi, my name is Robin and I'm back to stir the pot. This is so true, and I literally had an experience like this last week. I was in the supermarket. I was literally getting the last of my groceries. Like, I just needed to pick up one thing, and these two white people were in the aisle that I was in, the butter aisle. As I'm walking towards them, I have a gay pride mask on, just minding my business on the phone with my partner. And I kid you not, this white man who was having a normal conversation with this white lady literally proceeds to step in front of my cart, stop me, and just go off about, oh my god, yes, slay queen, yes, oh my god, gay rights, FDNG, like just being so extremely flamboyant. And it really got on my nerves, because then he had the audacity to come from around the cart after stepping in front of it to stop me, to tell me this, to then hitting my arm and hitting my shoulders and hitting my like side to like show camaraderie. And it's like, you don't know me, so why do you feel like you can do this, considering you were just having a normal conversation with the other lady?
To all our fellow white Americans that are now starting their own communities, your own white communities and stuff like that, please understand black people are not mad about it. I saw a video where a man was saying he can't understand why black people are mad. What black people is mad? Sir, we are not mad. Please understand that. We just want to know where these locations are so that we can avoid them. We're going to mark them on our black maps so that our maps will never take us to those locations. Okay? We are not mad. Build your communities. Put a wall around it. Stay in them. Separate yourself. Thank you so much.
One of the biggest realizations I've had as a black girl who grew up in predominantly white spaces is the fact that A, a lot of your white friends are actually racist, and B, a lot of your white friends are complicit with racism, benefit from it, or are too comfortable with racism to ever say anything. I started to come to this realization during the BLM protests, and this theory has been even furthered with the ICE raids that are currently happening right now. And this complicitness comes in forms of A, having that racist boyfriend that says the N-word and is like so awful and will absolutely do nothing about it, or B, never standing up for anything, never saying anything. I'm not asking you to be like a civil rights leader, this, that, and the third. But a lot of white people are very, very comfortable with what the benefits are through racism. So they will never, ever say anything. They will continue to have people in their circle that are very, very racist people. I will never forget growing up when I went to the mall with this girl and she told me something. She was like, I'm so happy you're not like the others. And then I asked her, what do you mean by the others? And she was like, other black people, like always sagging their pants and just like the way they act and just this, that, and the third. I was appalled. And this is somebody I thought was like a really good friend of mine. This is so normal. A lot of white people have such biased beliefs, such stereotypes like ingrained in them. They don't even think twice about it. I find this phenomenon so interesting because it really shows that at the end of the day, a lot of humans are just out for themselves and are just going to be thinking about themselves. They're not going to speak up for you in a room full of people that look like them. That would take lots of guts. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that.
Can we talk about how non-black people feel more comfortable bothering and inconveniencing black people versus their white peers? I just had 2 instances where this happened to me, but when I really think about it, it happens all the time. So last week, I got to this bar early because I was saving a table for me and my friends for trivia. And when I was sitting there, a guy who I'm assuming is Hispanic or Latinx came up to me and asked if he can take one of the chairs. And I said, I'm saving it for, our group. Maybe you should ask them. It's a table of all white people. They look like they have an extra chair. And this guy flat out told me, I don't want to bother them. And I'm like, well, you want to bother me? And face turned bright red. Out of embarrassment, I think that's when he went over there and asked him, and they gave him the extra seat. But isn't that very bizarre? Another time this happened, my sister and I went to this restaurant and sat at the bar. And most of the seats were filled. It was kind of busy. But a bartender came up to us, right, like maybe 5 minutes after we sat down. It kind of took her a while and said, I'll be with you in one moment. I'm slammed. I have this to do, this to do, this to do. This went wrong. And it was crazy because maybe a few minutes after, there was two different couples, one to the left of us and one to the right of us at the bar, that sat down, and she greeted them right away. And also, she did not labor them with everything she had going on. She greeted them, took their order, and that was it. And if she was busy and super stressed out, she put on this professional face and got it together. So the fact that she's able to do that for the white patrons at the bar, but wanted to labor me and my sister with all this negativity and basically set the standard that we were going to get bad service because she was slammed, is an issue. And I was trying to think, is this always malicious? Because whether it be asking for directions, asking for a chair, asking for a tampon, whatever, is this always malicious? And for me, I'm okay, Black people are very communal, we're community driven, maybe it makes us easier to approach, but I think a lot of the times it is malicious, and people feel like they are entitled to bother us. And I'm not with it.
White people's inability to sympathize with brown and black people deeply hurts me. And don't be dense, of course it's not all white people, but it's a general understanding of the world. But it hurts me, right? Because I've never looked at a person as less than them being a person. I've never looked at a starving man and looked at him as other than being a starving man, despite his race, ethnicity, or background. The pain that I feel when I talk about what's happening across the world is the same pain that I feel when I talk about my people's history in the hands of white folks. It's the same pain that I feel when I talk about slavery. It's the same pain that I feel when I talk about Asian genocide. It's the same pain that I feel when I talk about any group of people being hurt, especially innocent groups of people being hurt. But to a lot of black and brown people, it's like you have to explain to white folks that, hey, we're people too. We have feelings too. We have people that we care about too. You see how when something happens and it hurts you and you cry? Yeah, that happens to us too. Because when you look at the racial dynamics of the world, black and brown people are not treated as people, not in comparison to white people. Look at how America treated the Ukrainian refugees versus any refugees. Mexican refugees, Caribbean refugees, African refugees. Look how they treated them. And you won't even let us have our stories. Black and brown people spent their entire livelihoods. A majority of our history is us going against the odds, is us fighting for freedom, and you have the face of the resistance being white people. It's like if a problem is not centered around white people, then it's not a problem, and it truly doesn't matter. I've seen a variety of white women come on this app and cry about Lana Del Rey being snubbed at the Grammys, while in the same breath talking about how Victoria Monet did not deserve hers. I don't know, the fact that I have to go online to be like, you should sympathize with these brown people, you should sympathize with these black people, eats me alive. America has made a mockery of my people in my country, and I'm used to it, but at the same time, I'm not. It hurts. My people fought hard. My people fought extremely hard for the freedom that got taken away from them. And it's really the same thing for Congo. You have to beg for you guys to stop doing certain things, for you guys to look at these black children and see them as people who are deserving of peace. We have to go and yell at the top of our lungs that these black children are children and they should not be digging and mining for objects for you to have your new iPhone. And they should be at school enjoying themselves just like your child. We have to cry and beg for you to understand that those Palestinian children are just children. And they should not be orphans, and they should not be blown up. They should be at school or playing, just like your white kids. And it's tiring, it's exhausting, but it's very dehumanizing.
Somebody should write a book about how much space white people take up on a sidewalk. I really think it is such an interesting thing to observe just out in nature. I feel like even with the least spatially aware black or brown person, white people possess even less spatial awareness. Anytime there's somebody in my way here in Chicago, it is a white person. And I wonder if this lack of spatial awareness has led to all of the white women who are claiming Chicago's like really unsafe for them. They've had all these scary things happen. Because in my opinion, if you lack spatial awareness, you don't even understand how people are perceiving you, and therefore you don't know when you're being perceived as a target. Just to make sure I'm crystal clear when I say this, I am not by any means blaming women for what is happening. This is, of course, a man's problem, but as women, we have to be spatially aware. We need to know 100% how the people around us are perceiving us at all times if you want to be safe. It also takes care of the problem of like letting people around you go around you. You know, when you're walking really slow on the sidewalk, walk at your own pace. I don't care. But, you know, if you feel that somebody's behind you and they're trying to get around you, move. You know what I mean?
And white people won't give you no space.
No, but I really want to know the psychology of why are y'all so okay with being that close to a stranger in a situation that does not require you to be close to another stranger? So what happened to me today is I was in CVS waiting in line. When I walked up, there's already someone waiting there. So I stood behind them, but I gave them a few feet, like plenty of space, right? And then up walks a man and he stands behind me. Now, initially, I don't know exactly how close he is to me, but you know how you can feel someone's presence. Now, we were in line for a few minutes. They were a little busy. And at one point, I guess he breathed like a heavy sigh. And when I tell you, I felt his breath on the back of my neck. The back of my neck, the air from his mouth, on the back of my neck. Why would you ever want to be that close up on somebody? We're just standing here. What if I pooted?
Welcome back. And I hope the palm colored people actually got the answer that they are looking for. I hope they are comfortable now to know enough that these are some of the reasons. These are some of but few reasons, because I know that a lot of people are still going to be dropping reasons for me in the comment section. I hope they have been able to see all of these things and then adjust to a little thing that they are doing. Because, yes, I've seen videos of, like, I think I saw a particular video and one lady said why she actually quit her job was because her boss and people she work with are all palm colored people. And frequently when she comes into the office, there's always this stare, despite the fact that she is not new. Like despite the fact that she has been working there, there's always this stare that make her feel so uncomfortable. Always this thing of her boss always being like, "Oh, you make new hair." "Oh, your blazers are beautiful." "Oh." It sounds like it's a compliment, but in another way, it sounds as if like, "Oh, finally, so you can even afford this." Do you get what I'm trying to say? And when she starts seeing all of those things, it make her feel so uncomfortable and it make her feel like, I think I don't belong in this space. So despite the fact that she don't have enough, she just have to quit to get another job, right? I'm not saying you should quit and get another job, because yes, everybody have their own different experiences. But the thing is, attention is more raised when you have a black person, like people that look like me, in the mix of white people than when you have a white person in the mix of black. A lot of black can just mind their business and just go their way, like, welcome. And that is all. They can even be happy that you're a white person among them and make you feel so comfortable. But most of these people, I'm not saying all of them, that I say most of these palm colored people can just make you feel so uncomfortable, feel so irritated, and feel like you do not even belong here. So I feel like a lot of people have different reasons to also express their self, why they're really not like they don't want to be in the space, but whenever they are in that particular environment, it feels like it's a bit awful. So let me know what you think in the comment section. about this particular video? Have you have an encounter before and you are the only black person or you're the only white person in the midst of a mixed race? How did you feel? How did you express yourself? Were you able to express yourself? Were you able to feel love? Were you able to feel like, okay, I'm with my people? I don't know. But the thing is, a lot of people will always feel safe where their races are, despite the fact anything is happening or not happening. Do you get? Despite the fact me and you we might not be, we will not quarrel, we will not fight, but I just feel like I think this is where I truly belong and this is where I should be. I don't know if you guys are getting my points. So this might be some of the reasons as well. So a lot of reasons, let me know, like I said, in the comment section, because we love reading from comment section and a lot of people do learn as well from our comment section. Anyways, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. Like I said, this video is just for educational purpose, not to come here to bash anyone, not to come here to make you feel uncomfortable or to come here to make you feel like you're not worth it, right? Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we use in our today's episode. And guys, with no further ado, I'm going to be Simba and I'll see you guys in my next one. Do not touch the die. Come back for more videos because I got a lot of package for you today. Bye. Mwah.